As an almost founder member of GPEG and a co-chair during its early formative years, I'm so happy to see this event. Uh, in 1999, we dropped 5 teams of American and Indian students at different locations along the eastern waterfront of Mumbai and asked them to study those places, beginning with basic observations of an object, a person, or an act, and build stories into outward into larger structures and processes that is a part of it. They develop substantial knowledge and raise crucial questions, and the Indian faculty who have been studying this place for 10 years also learned a lot. Yet the students made highly insensible suggestions. They proposed huge apartment complexes and casinos, potentially displacing the informal settlers. So I'm running some parallel slides to sort of like give an idea. Upon return, I informed the chair of the broken link in the students' thinking process between understanding a community and making suggestions, and how the students infuse their own assumptions into this gap. I also told that this break may not be unusual, but goes undetected in school, uh, where the projects are Indiana based and faculty may have the same assumptions. Later, when a faculty member questioned, why are we training students to be planners in Asia? My chair stressed that Capacia provides much broad education. It stretches the minds of the students. So Capacia was there to stay. Among others, a leading planning scholar in London told me that I know of programs that train third world planners in the West. But this is the first time I came across one that does the opposite. So I realized that I was up to something. The key question was how to support and facilitate people's life journeys, directed towards learning how to make inside out interventions. Capacia participants try to learn about communities and spaces from local people's standpoints, inside out, empathically, by doing projects collaboratively with local students, with the help of local educators and professionals, acknowledging local interpretations and worldviews. More technically, what we know is what we see. When students go abroad, they interact with the unknown and develop new knowledge. The best is to support their knowledge building process and learn with them, guiding the construction of knowledge with the help of other professionals and professional and intellectual work. The participants are directed to learn about the livelihoods, spatial practices, and the life journeys of local people, especially as to how they organize their communities and negotiate space. To support their daily activities and cultural practices, the investigation is facilitated by homestays, field trips, and meeting a variety of people. The students are directed to pay attention to the differences between one, their local assumptions and stereotypes, including those learned in classrooms, and two, local realities and their rationalities. As I've demonstrated in my own work, the knowledge we produce depends on the focus, the framework, and the vantage point of inquiry. The use of developed and modern Western city as the reference has weakened our understanding of Asian cities. Similarly, the reference to metropolitan knowledge has alienated Midwestern cities. They have become data for imported intellectual frameworks or fodder devoid of explanatory capability. Again, the key is to look at the right places outside the mainstream focus, employ appropriate frameworks that allow local interpretations to play a role, and try to see the world from the locals' vantage points, respecting their worldviews empathically. Instead of exposing the world to students, Capacia exposes the students to the world, so worlding them. The participants thus develop an ability to not only locate themselves globally, but also to view the world from specific communities, respecting their worldviews, and learn to theorize rather than apply theories, so changing the ground conditions. The key is to examine ourselves, to learn the shortcomings of our own processes, and to unlearn our privilege. The key strategy is reflective learning, through which the participants critique their own assumptions, biases, actions, and selves, developing themselves into critical thinkers and reflective practitioners. Almost all alumni do innovative jobs. Uh, One received the national award for her thesis. Several others received Fulbrights. Participant observation demands immersion, especially going beyond their comfort zone. This requires them to stay in one locale for at least 7 weeks, so they don't live in the luxury of this misery will be over soon. They have to figure out how to find food, clean clothes, and so on, so they learn about the environment and community by living in it with the help of locals. Diversifying the experience, I take them to a second place for 3 weeks and do some non-touristy but informative grounded field trips. The program runs on a network of practitioners, scholars, and schools in Asia. My research focuses on Asia, and I'm an active member of the academic and professional communities. I've taught in many schools, had fellowships including 2 Fulbrights. I have good knowledge of Asia and a feel for Asia, etc., and speak languages. So every time I do Cap Asia, I have I have a few requests from different schools to collaborate. I also hire good faculty from Asian schools. Its multifaceted teaching and learning strategy has been recognized as transformative, life-changing, and as a result has received 3 Fulbright Hays Awards. According to a Fulbright Hays reviewer, the Capacia project provides creative focus that is built on integrating Asian worldviews into participants' education. The focus on learning from rather than learning about, as well as on learning from doing projects with host country peers rather than doing projects for them, is refreshingly honest about where knowledge resides. It also models and reinforces a respectful intercultural attitude and global stance that is sorely needed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nihal. Charisma, we'll try you again.
Yeah, the Zoom monster struck.
So as soon as Nihal unshares, we'll try sharing.
How do I do that? Oh.
I think
no, I think
there you go.
this usually works, but anyway, I'll stop here. Okay.